I've done this parasite cleanse for 2 months and it's literally destroyed my gut. I feel worse. I feel horrible. Just popping a probiotic and it's going to fix things. There is the finish line where it is possible to heal your body, to regenerate, and to move forward with your life, with health at your side.
Hello, and welcome to I'm Too Busy, the show where we uncover the inspiring, bold, and often unexpected journeys of people who are changing the way we live, think, and thrive. I am your host, Christina Flach, and today's guest is someone who I have been dying to interview. He is amazing. His name is Ryan Carter. He is a registered nutritional therapist, a wellness innovator, and co-founder of Oath Foods Company. Ryan's path to health began after years of battling an eating disorder, exercise addiction, and feeling completely disconnected from his body. From a high-end London kitchen to the mountains of Lebanon, his quest for healing has taken him around the world, uncovering everything from gut imbalances to mold exposure and mercury toxicity. Today, Ryan works with clients in 19 countries, from elite soccer players in Europe to royalty in the Middle East, helping those achieve optimal health through precision-based nutrition, movement, and lifestyle guidance. I would like to welcome Ryan Carter. Hi, how are you?
Thank you. I'm very blessed. Great to be here.
Oh, well, I've been looking forward to this. I am so obsessed with gut health. So here we go. So
Let's go for
Ryan,
it.
okay, here we do. Ryan, your journey into health wasn't exactly straightforward. Can you share with me how your personal struggles helped the work that you do today?
It was mainly acquired from the quest of going down many rabbit holes and or dead ends, if you want to call it, look on a road analogy. So going down dead ends and then realizing, yeah, I spent all this money, done all these tests, to what prevailed, basically. What was the actual outcome? So again, it was disappointing. It was restarting, resetting, doing the typical diets, doing the typical supplements, the cleanses, the liver flushes, the colonics, the enemas, you name it. And again, whilst it was a failure, these were just basically lessons teaching me of this. Yeah, maybe that helped a little bit, maybe this. And at the same time, I was studying to become a nutritional therapist. So it was basically helping me piece the puzzle together, essentially,
Mhm.
with each rabbit hole or dead end. It was like, okay, yes, I can see some insight, but maybe my body wasn't really ready for it due to X, Y, and Z, or my glutathione status, or blah, 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 or maybe I didn't have the specific bacteria there to help metabolize that toxin, as an example. So again, it's very frustrating. But again, there is the finish line where it is possible to heal your body, to regenerate, and to move forward with your life, with health at your side, basically.
You faced some serious gut health challenges, from antibiotics to mold exposure and food poisoning. What was your turning point, do you think, in understanding the connection between gut health and overall well-being?
So because we have to eat 3, 4 times per day, and it's always on our mind, whether it's on social media or you're out and about or you're meeting a friend and you're at a cafe and there's like cookies around, or you're always smelling and giving
Right.
that stimulation of food. So just by that, you're actually stimulating and influencing your gut health. Okay, so you just really have to understand that it's actually at a brain level how you stimulate your gut health. But again, because the gut turns over fairly quickly compared to other cells or tissues of the body, it's more vulnerable to issues. That's also the same for the skin. It turns over the cells very quickly. Therefore, it has a sort of different type of metabolism without getting into the nitty-gritty stuff. So
Hmm.
it's very fragile and sensitive. And then throw in, there's another layer of the microbiome, which encompasses viruses, bacteria, fungi, potentially parasites. They're not all bad guides. So when you look at testing, you're like, oh, I have this one high, that one low. There's so much nuance to go into that. Again, it's just it's just the microbiome in your poo that you're excreting. It doesn't truly reflect what's really going in at the base foundational level at your microbiome. It's at the top soil level, sort of top layer level.
Hmm.
And then you have to understand, yeah, maybe you don't want to go around and kill the bad guys. Again, a client of mine this week, actually 2 days ago, she said, I've done this parasite cleanse for 2 months and it's literally destroyed my gut. I feel worse. I feel horrible. And again, it wasn't my influence of doing the parasite cleanse. She wanted to get out of the way because it was on a to-do checklist, basically, of
Right.
improving her health. But again,
Right.
she's made things worse. And again, it's so easy to do that because we're so bombarded with information, so bombarded with like food signals, and we really have to acquire, get the brain working first to get the gut working. Okay, so again, that brain or gut or the gut brain axis, it should be the brain gut axis because it overrides everything basically. Okay, and there's simple things like circadian biology, circadian rhythms. What time do you wake up? Do you go outside? Has your sun, sorry, have you been kissed by the sun in your eyes? What time are you going to bed? Are you turning off the lights? Is there lights coming in into your bedroom from the street lights, as an example? Are you on your phone before bed? These are all influencing your gut health. It's just not in a direct associated way, such as eating a kiwi or eating butter because of the butyrate. It's very subtle, but again, it stacks up over time. So again, I generally believe that most people gut issues stem back years from poor health, from the
Hmm.
brain down. And again, it just gets weaker and weaker, and we lose the capacity to basically regenerate that tissue because it takes multiple systems to work. And that's why you can't just focus on gut health. You also need to focus on sort of like energy metabolism. You need to be looking at your hormones. You need to be looking at your stress response, your skin health, circadian rhythms, and maybe I just said that.
Hmm.
Detoxification, your liver, your lymphatics, your circulation, everything basically, it all goes into their gut health. So that's why so many people I feel are stranded within a gut health community, because again, they throw the kitchen sink at it and they're not looking at it from a sort of system network operation with first principles of how it works.
Hmm.
And I honestly believe sometimes like your microbiome, or you could have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and it could in theory be a helpful thing. It's just uncomfortable and awkward and a pain in the backside, but it
Hmm.
actually might be doing something there for you. And that could be also made out for the case with things such as candida, which is a yeast which can be friendly when it's overstretched its mark. It can be problematic and dig into our gut lining. But again, you can also make the association from various studies to say it actually helps with detoxifying metals, as an example. So it's very nitty gritty, and at the end of the day, you have to be focusing on other things, not just gut health, um, to truly have the long lasting effects on improving your gut. Ironically.
That is so fascinating because I do all that. I dry brush in the morning. I go outside first thing, and so it is fascinating that it's all these little things that actually add up to one huge thing. You know, gut health now is trending, but you've been doing this forever. But you've lived it. What are some of the most common misconceptions people have about it?
Yeah, just popping a probiotic and it's gonna fix things. And again, how we can dive into that is nowadays you have to be very strain specific with what type
Hmm.
of probiotic you technically need. And again, I'm not like a expert in like the probiotic name and languages,
Right,
because again, it's just like it just takes up too much bandwidth for my brain and I just don't have it.
right,
But again,
right.
I understand the principles behind it. And again, it's written down in my study notes as an example. But again, you have to be strain specific with what you're trying to do. You can't just think, okay, this brand, this probiotic's got 8 strains. It's ticking the boxes with the lactobacillus, with the bifidobacterium. It's got some sexy names in there as well, and it's got some prebiotic fiber. Yeah, that's great, and it's 50 billion as well. So that's basically hit and hope. Okay, no, for someone who's got mild digestive issues, yeah, that might be enough. But someone who's been in the health circle for a number of years, it's really basically the expression would be pissing in the wind. Okay, so again, you're peeing and it's coming back on your face, basically, or
Right,
peeing
right,
back on you.
right,
Okay, so
right.
again, it's like you're trying to go like one step forward, but you're going 2 steps backwards. And again, it's like I said previously, is understanding the network organization of the human body. Everything requires energy. When there's energy missing, nothing moves forward and nothing is like flowing in a coherence. And that's all about the human body. Ancestrally, like looking at Chinese medicine, yin yang, the body works in a flow state. And if there's no energy there, yeah, you're not gonna do well. And then you throw in antimicrobials. Yeah, it's like you're going into battle and you've got no troops, you've got no missiles, you've got no communication. It's just going to be a mess basically. And again, that gets back to the situation of what that client shared. I'm going on a parasite cleanse, done it too long, and probably caused problems with our actual mucus. So just have a thin layer of mucus basically on our gut lining. And again, I'd say everyone wants to do what everyone else is doing. They want to follow the influence, what works for them. Because again, information's so readily available. You can listen to Huberman, and again, good information on a surface level. And again, you think, oh yeah, I know it all. Just need to do this, take the athletic greens, and do a little bit of fasting. Yeah, I mean, if you've got issues, that's unfortunately not enough, and you do need to outsource health. So again, my breakthrough moment was actually working with not just one, but maybe a handful of like 6 or 7 practitioners, and moving on from one of them, learning bits and pieces from them, and each one improved my health, but not enough to my liking. So that's why I basically like use it as a stepping stone. And then I found the last one who just was like, yeah, you're basically there. And then it was just myself putting the final pieces of optimization there, with understanding light, water, and magnetism, basically, of how the mitochondria works. So again, I mean, the point of the last one was just thinking that you can just do it by yourself. I would say, how much is your health worth to you? How much is it costing with your energy, with your precious moments in time, inconveniences, your socialization? Oh, I can't go out to that restaurant because I don't want to be bloated and gassy in front of everyone, or again, I don't want my skin to flare. That's just inconvenience, and I don't think no one should live like that, basically. Because again, I believe, it can take some time, but improving your health is possible for everyone.
How do you approach gut healing with your clients?
So first principles, there'll be nothing drastic such as antimicrobials. I personally don't go in with any testing, stool testing straight away, just because it's too messy, basically, to understand at that stage, because it's a bit like there's murky water. So what do you do with murky water? You have to let it settle, basically, and then you can see a little bit more. So settling it, improving the system, things like circadian biology, vitamin D status, vitamin A intake, improving iron, oxygen metabolism, improving blood circulation with things such as nitric oxide, and potentially removing some problematic foods. Again, I don't really need to test. Do you have an oxalate issue? Do you have a histamine issue? Do you have a SIBO issue? Again, for me, I don't believe you need to test for it. You can just, again, go on a low FODMAP diet, 2 months, see how you do, reduce oxalates down, not absolutely, reduce histamines down. And again, you're going in the right direction. And what you're doing is you're reducing the noise. Okay, so again, you're getting that water clear, and then you can make more executive, clear sight interventions, such as specific strain right here. Okay, but again, that's just like a general view. It does require a lot of understanding of the client's history, what they previously tried, their birth, where they breastfed. All of these scenarios have a massive role in our gut health, and that again, it starts like way before the womb. Basically, it starts in your grandmother's eggs, basically, and it's passed down to her mother, and then obviously that's you, and then you're under essentially epigenetic influence. So your gut health is very much tied to your mum's health, with her nutritional status, with her metabolic status, vitamin D status, and again, you can see that in certain studies looking at fertility. And again, that's so important because it goes back to like glucose, insulin, leptin, and they have many important roles in our gut health. Okay, even just shaping the bacteria there. Okay? So, I mean, that's typically where I start. And then generally, yeah, it improves. And then that's when, okay, do we need a little bit of help? So again, think of it as a garden. You got
Hmm.
beautiful fruit trees, you got plants. Again, I've got this all around me. Again, it happens in my own back garden of what I'm doing right now in my land. But again, like you don't just want to use glyphosate or Roundup, okay, and on everything basically before planting trees or fruit trees or plantains and bananas and whatnot. You want to go careful. So again, you improve the actual soil quality. Maybe use a machete and chop a few things down, and then basically, um, you'll be like, okay, do we need a little bit of help in clearing these weeds, so these problematic bacteria, which might be causing endotoxemia, just a nemesis basically, or causing too much hydrogen sulfide as an example. And again, that's when maybe we could use more food first approach. So things such as MCT oil, black seed oil, ginger, curcumin, um, xylitol even. There's a number of food based antimicrobials that we could be using first before even thinking about throwing in such as like an antimicrobial such as grapefruit seed extract or oregano oil. I think people are very too heavy in that approach, and it doesn't need to be. In my opinion, those are very similar to an antibiotic. Again, it
Mm.
is very, very powerful. And I see people, I see clients who'd be taking an antimicrobial for like 16 weeks or 10 weeks. And again, for me, it's too much. That they're making the gut system more weaker, more fragile. Okay. Um, so again, that can only be seen for someone, I believe, from an outside viewpoint. Yeah.
Right.
So again, it's like maybe your your money in your bank account. Maybe you actually have a financial advisor. Okay, yeah, we need to invest in Bitcoin, or yeah, these stocks are low, let's buy them, or let's move your money around in this currency, or whatever it is. Or again, you got your car, it's a beautiful classic car. You go to the mechanic says, yeah, you need to be doing this, that, changing the oil, yeah, new set of tires. Again, that's all I know with cars basically. But you need to be doing the maintenance. Well, again, no one does that for their health basically. Yeah, we have doctors, but they are tied to a system which is dysfunctional and basically profit sickness essentially. So you need to be again more busy in thinking for yourself about your health, being more responsible. And again, maybe that requires outsourcing someone to help guide you, support you, mentor you to regain that health back. And again, that will just double down your life, the quality of your life, basically, which is what it's all about. You shouldn't be thinking
Right.
about your health all the time. Again, look, no other wild animal thinks about their health because they're living it essentially. And we're
Right.
human beings, so we're beings. We're not just doings with checklists or this is my supplement to take. Bing, 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 bing. You're not doing healthy. You have to be healthy, and it's in that flow state where that magic happens, basically.
Are there any core principles or starting points that you think everyone should follow?
So I definitely, again, it does depend where you live. So but most people should be grounding. That's the premise of touching earth basically on a simplistic way. Again, you can double it up. You can actually take it to the best level, which is the whole body in the sea. That's the best way to ground essentially. Or again, you can find a park, you can hug a tree.
Right. Stand in some
Just
grass barefoot. But it
well, I
does
mean,
need to,
yeah,
you
there's
need to be barefoot. You can't be in shoes, right?
yeah, or again, there's the context there. Again, do you want that glyphosate? Basically, maybe they sprayed on that glass to be absorbed into your soles of your feet, which are very absorbable. So again, there's like nuance with that. Or again, have you got electrical wires running underneath your grass as well, or anything like that? But grounding is a principle that all wild animals apply, maybe apart from birds, but they get that energy elsewhere from their wings. But grounding, circadian biology, waking and rising with the sun, falling asleep with going to bed on time, say around 9 o'clock when everything is dark. And again, that is adjustable. So again, it's summertime or more summertime where you are in California right now, and same
Right.
in where I'm from in England. So the sun doesn't go down to like 10:30 right now, and it rises around like 4 o'clock in the morning. But at the opposite spectrum, it rises at like 8 o'clock in wintertime, and then it goes down at like 3:34 in the afternoon. But again, you have to embrace that. All wild animals go in and out of the seasonal patterns. It's only humans that can control the electrical grid, the power grid, sorry, and the food chain, where they can think they can divert that. And obviously, yeah, everyone's got to make a living. Everyone's got to make some money to have a roof over themselves and to pay for things. But again, I mean, I would say our modern society has made it harder for ourselves to be healthy as well. And again, it's not to say, okay, let's go back to ancestral times of hunting and gathering. Again, I'm not suggesting that. I'm in Nicaragua right now, and I'm speaking on a laptop, and I've got clients around the world in the same format of communication. So again, we have to embrace technology. There's no going back, but we have to understand, yeah, maybe there's a bit of a disconnect there. Maybe we have to put some things in place to help ourselves. Okay. So again, not being ignorant, and that's the problem. So again, more sunlight, and people make assumptions like you did earlier that you grounding or you being in the sun in the morning is enough, or that it's actually the same as a textbook shares. Meaning, it's what, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock right now where you are. Again, technically speaking, there should be UVB there. You go outside, and because there's UVB there, you think you're making vitamin D, but that's an assumption. You actually might not even be making vitamin D because you might not be healthy enough to make that vitamin D. Okay.
Interesting.
So again, it's just like what the textbook says, what it says in biochemistry, actually in the biophysics might not be happening. And again, on top of that, the nuance here would be the power grid influencing things. So again, in LA, California, you have a massive amount of non-native EMF. You obviously got Elon Musk's Starlinks all over you, and like planes flying here and there. But like again, it's like a big cloud of smog basically. And again, that has an effect on your ability to utilize sunlight. So again, there's a lot of assumptions that people make, but again, you still have to try, you still have to do it. And again, building good health, it will get easier and better, basically.
You started in the culinary world and then ended up in nutritional therapy, two very different worlds. How did food become both the challenge and the cure for you?
Again, I mean, when I had a disordered eating, I wouldn't call it eating disorder, I call it disordered eating. And it was mixed in with, I don't know what the word's called, but like addicted to like exercise as well. So again, I was doing everything right if you really wanted to lose weight, basically. So like fasting in the morning, like just eating like a boatload of carbs, no fat, no real protein. And again, it was working. I got down to like 55 kilos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like 100 kilos well, 98 kilos right now. So quite a substantial change of what I should naturally be. But again, it came from just the obsession with food because my body was hungry. And I was like, oh, look, again, I've had enough of these like ready-made meals. I started actually watching cooking programs, culinary programs on TV, things such as like MasterChef or the again other cooking things basically. And it was like, wow, this is really interesting. And again, my mum always cooked homemade meals. I think it was only up to like the age of like 22, I took really a real interest in like cooking for myself. And it was also met at the same time of me leaving home and needing to cook for myself as well, or find food. So again, it was sort of acquired that way. I started collecting recipe books. I also started on a weekend or my day off from work, going to restaurants around London to taste different foods. And then, yeah, I really got into like Italian food with pasta. And then as my nutritional knowledge was improving, I was like more focused on meats, a paleolithic diet, which quote unquote nowadays is called the animal-based diet. But again, the paleo diet basically, or bulletproof diet back in the day. And there was more focused on like meat. And then I was just trying all different cuts of meat, cooking it. I was trying all different fish. I think there was 1 week I set myself a goal of just eating fish. And I ended up with like eating 55 different types of fish in 1 week.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was like an adventure. And then I was like, wow, I was kind of lost with myself at this time. And I was like, what can I do for a living? Cooking. I mean, I like to eat at restaurants. I like to see food, cook food. I got good knowledge of food. And then I basically just started working in the kitchen in, I would say it's a known London restaurant called Moro, and it serves Middle Eastern, Africa, North African, Spanish food. It's like Moorish food.
Hmm.
And it was really insightful. And then I asked them for the opportunity to go traveling and to go Lebanon, basically, which was really interesting. And they put me up with a restaurant there, so I experienced like their Lebanese food culture. Stayed in Lebanon for like I think 2 weeks, just an insane experience. I think when I was like 23, 24, and then I came back to London. I was like, yeah, cooking's great, but I was looking at the lifestyles of the cooks and the chefs, and again, I think it was just like a slap in the face of all the nutritional and health information I was acquiring, because again, they'll be working late at night, smoking cigarettes.
Right.
Again, they actually ate crap basically. So like toast and like Marmite, or like just like beans on toast, essentially, if you know what that is. And
Right.
I was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure about this. So again, that sort of put that on a pause. And then, like I said earlier, I was working with practitioners, improving my health and using them stepping stones. And I was like, wow, that's a really interesting job, working with people and improving their health. And I just explored it. And I saw two colleges, and one of them really hit the mark and swayed me, just because you could think for yourself. It wasn't like vegan, you got like coffee's bad, or meat is bad. It was more open, it was more free thinking. And I was able to do that part time, whilst obviously making a living, working for my dad in his antique shop. So I was hustling with that, and then hustling on the weekends with lectures, studying. And that was for like 3 or 4 years doing that. I left my dad's job due to like being in a moldy basement, and that was also another contributing factor for my poor health, or my health not moving in the right direction,
Right.
although I was trying. So I had to leave, and then I worked for my friend's hyperbaric oxygen clinic. So that's basically when you go into a pressurized tank, and it's like you're diving whilst breathing in 100%, or 99% oxygen, basically. And that put me in the front of potential clients in that space. And I was like, well, this is amazing. And then yeah, that was me set. And when I was learning to become a nutritionist, which was like 4 or 5 years to do, again, getting that experience, meeting some amazing people. I started cooking. I was cooking for, at that time, a top 10 tennis star. He flew me out to like Italy for his prep to lose a bit of body fat to get him ready for the season. Again, meeting people like Novak Djokovic, meeting some like royals. Again, serving a very like influential person in the UK as well, in his own personal chamber. And then I moved on to my friend's health clinic, and that's when I was being like a health coach, which is not like a certified nutritionist, but more or less the same thing, just because
Hmm.
it's very rogue, the health space, with titles, with nutritionists, nutritional therapists, health coaches. So at the time, I was just a health coach and helping out the nutritionists at the clinic at the time. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I qualified. And then within a space of like 1 week, and setting up my business at the back, like in the background, a person I knew from the biohacking community, he basically said, I want to work with you. And he signed on to me for like 12 months, which was a decent sum of money. And I was like, wow, I can be free. I don't need to work anymore for anybody
Right.
else. This buys me some breathing ground, basically, and I could go all in. And then that's when I sort of doubled down on my website, improving it. And then the clients are slowly coming in, slowly like drip feeding, recommendations, stuff like that. And yeah, that was it. And then I escaped the UK and started living in Central America and Costa Rica, Mexico, Nicaragua, back to Mexico. And then one of the people I met from the hyperbaric oxygen clinic, basically she was always a good friend, but she needed my help for a certain situation. So again, I flew to the Middle East. I worked with her family, and again, that was an amazing experience. And then I came back to Central America, and then same thing happened, flew back. And again, that was my life for like 2 years. And then came back to Nicaragua and just felt a bit more grounded here and basically put down roots. So met someone and then now have a baby basically who's half
Oh,
half British and half Nicaraguan.
oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, so again, that's my life story basically. So
Wow.
again, we bought some land last year, and like within the last 6 months, that's just basically been developing, and now we're living in the house. And again, just like living the dream. Honestly, it's a surreal experience, and sometimes I do catch myself because again, I'm from the mindset of like work hard. I'm not doing enough, and again, that's in like the Western culture. And again, I get frustrated myself, and then I just need to remember like, look what I have here. Again, if I'm working, I won't be able to actually have the moment and experience it and practice what I just said or practice what I just
Right.
preached of
Right.
being basically.
It's so interesting. I ask people, and it's usually at the end of the interview of, where does your soul live? Where's your happy place? But you've already answered that question it's so interesting that you could be from the UK and your soul lives in Nicaragua. And,
Yeah, I'd say,
you just never know where your soul's going to live. And some people never find out, they never figure it out, but you've clearly figured it out.
well, I mean, I would say potentially there's opportunities, potentially the right moment, right time, potentially I didn't have any responsibilities, so I was able to do that. So again, I had the freedom to do so. So again, it's someone who's saying, okay, I need to find my soul and check out Nicaragua. Again, like if you've got like a whole family, you've got a job, yeah, it's going to be a bit more difficult compared to
Challenging,
someone,
yes.
yeah, a bit more challenging compared to some like mine, basically. But again, I mean, that was actually the vision of when I was studying to become a nutritionist. Now, at the time, it was basically I'm going to be working in a clinic in central London called Harley Street, which is where all the like doctors and nutritionists
Hmm.
work. But COVID happened, and it was like, wow, what the hell do I do now? And at the time, I was friends with another nutritionist, and she was just working online. I was like, well, online? What is this? How does that work? I want to see people face to face. And then basically, it was just like, boom. Well, I don't need to be in London. I can do
You can
things.
be anywhere.
Yeah, and that's when I was like sort of learning understanding about light, water, magnetism, and like Central America has like a very special like energy field around it. Basically, it's obviously got very good light environments because of the sun.
Hmm.
Um, but again, the volcanoes, being close to the sea, all the trees. So it's abundant in life here. So you can basically like cut down a tree, and within a space of like a few days, 4 days, like you could see life of it regrowing again. And again, I would also say like I could cut myself like my leg open on like barbed wire or something, and it would heal very very fast here. Now again,
Interesting.
it's just this is a very good, in my opinion, a very good place to heal. And again, it doesn't have to be Nicaragua; it could be any sort of area similar. So that would be not really populated. It would be sort of with a lot of vegetation of plants, slightly off the grid, good sun stability, near the sea, near volcanoes or mountains. That's going to be a very good place to heal, basically. Not, or it'd just be difficult. It'd be difficult in London, in New York, in LA. Now, don't get me wrong, it's possible. I've got clients in those cities. It's just you have to get more things dialed in. There's less, what's the word? There's less leanway.
Hmm. You've worked with top athletes, high profile clients, and even royalty. Is there a common thread in what these individuals need to perform at their best? And what are
Yeah.
some surprising patterns or gut related issues you see across cultures and lifestyles? So it's kind of a two-part question.
So with athletes in particular, their resilience to stress is above and beyond a normal person. They're just built differently to handle stress.
Hmm.
So that's the unique characteristic. And again, is that acquired from a young age? Is that acquired from the womb, from mum? Again, that is that at that top level. Say, for example, you're serving like match point. Again, like it's only it comes down to that sort of level. Again, it's like really, really small lines at the top level. So I would say that. But again, also having a team around you, knowing your weak spots, not having an ego, being open to change things. Again, I think that's what you see, especially with like tennis players like Jannik. I think that's what his name is. The new hot like kid on the block, hot kid on the block. Again, he's just got unmatched like concentration, attention to detail, very similar to like Djokovic. And again, you can see the same background stuff for Djokovic basically in him. So again, it's just very interesting at that mindset level basically, and their stress resilience. The Royals, yeah, I mean it's probably a bit more challenging to work with them because they're sort of in a sort of luxury mindset basically. But again, that doesn't mean there's a fault with that. It's just, it is what it is. But again, the urgency and putting things in place, that's kind of easy to do because they have a team around them. They've got assistants, they've got everything like that. But to get them on board, to actually have a time to speak with them and for them to comprehend it's sometimes very challenging because they've got meetings, they've got commitments, the language sometimes. And again, just the customs essentially as well. So it can be challenging in terms of like the gut health. Generally in the research from the athletic standpoint, it's typically the gut is also a weak link. So again, because the circulation is pumping things to the muscle, to the heart, and even the kidneys and maintaining the electrolyte status and stuff and the glucose, again, the gut basically takes second fiddle. And that's when basically it can open a door to things such as leaky gut or intestinal permeability. And again, that's where you see people like marathon runners on the extreme end, like Paula Radcliffe, like basically pooing her pants basically whilst running. So again, I do think there is a need for athletes to have more consideration around their gut health. But like we said, it's not just the gut, it's understanding their system. But again, something as simple as this, as consuming watermelon, specifically the white pith of the watermelon, which is high in L-citrulline, that actually helps nitric oxide and actually secures or improves the blood flow to the gut, basically. So again, that's been shown, combined with something like quercetin, which you can get in capers, which is like this small green bud that you throw in salads or like tuna salads or salmon niçoise. Or again, it's found in onions and apples and stuff like that. But again, those two would be a very powerful aid in terms of mitigating that. But again, I would say for the general public, who train pretty hard, I don't think they take their gut to that level where it's going to be opening up due to the damage and changes within the barrier, basically. Okay, but again, that would be a weak link for the athletes.
Your company, the Oath Foods Company, takes a nose to tail approach rooted in ancestral nutrition. Why is this philosophy so important in today's wellness landscape, do you think?
Just looking back ancestrally, we would have prized the whole animal. There would have been no scraps, basically. We would have consumed everything. The legends such as Weston A. Price, he showcased that prized parts of the animal, the liver, the organs, essentially, utilizing collagen or the collagenous parts, essentially. And it's sort of the opposite in our modern landscape is things like chicken breast, beef fillet, 0% or 1% fat, ground beef. That's not how we should be eating, basically. And again, you can open up and find the studies to show that if your fat intake is not 40% of your total energy calories, your hormones are potentially going to be tanking with some time. So again, it shows you, yeah, we would have eaten a whole animal because 40% fat of your total energy is quite a bit of fat. Again, you're not just going to jug down extra virgin olive oil or avocados galore. That's a decent amount of fat, and that would have been combined with the meat, basically, not basically pale, fatless meat that we see in packets, all pumped up with water, basically. And again, it's missing what our bodies need. It's found in a unique matrix in real food. So it's not in a dehydrated capsule of liver. It's actually alive. The water inside that product, like in the meat or in the organ, is unique as well. So again, it's hydrated, and these proteins are going to be, I would say, maybe not like studied or shown yet, but it's going to be superior. And even going down at a peptide level, I would find there'd be probably more peptides in the actual real food compared to a supplement. Again, you don't need to eat liver every single day and go crazy for it, but again, we do need a decent amount per week. We need to tick, not like tick boxes, but again, we can make it easy for you nowadays. So again, it's not just us. There's other companies in the US like Force of Nature, who's sort of doing something similar to what we're doing. It's mixed in with ground beef. We apply it with sausages. We apply it with burgers. We add in a little bit of bone marrow. So again, you really can't go wrong in terms of cooking it. And the goal is just to make it easy for people to get nutrients in, and not think that they need a supplement, because like I said, the two they're not comparable.
What would you say do mindset and emotional well-being play in your gut healing process?
It's all interlinked in its flow state. So the gut could be said as second brain. Potentially the gut was the first brain, I would say. And then as we advanced into a species, the brain that we know of today took over. Right. And then basically the gut just took second place. And that's why there's a huge amount of neurotransmitters there, and it communicates with the brain because it's very sensitive. So yeah, it has a massive role. I believe if mentally, energetically, hormonally, you're in good shape, your mindset, your mind, your mood, your outlook would be changing. So,
I love
if your gut was also in tip-top condition, then again, you wouldn't need to think about your mindset. You wouldn't need to meditate, unless you really wanted to, unless you wanted a bit more peace. You wouldn't need to read affirmations. You'll just be in a state of flow, in a state of peace, basically. It's, again, it'd be like a second thought. You wouldn't need to be thinking about what's my mindset today, or you'd be able to get angry. You'd be able to like shout and let it out and then move on, basically. It's a bit like a dog. So again, I got pit bulls, and there's someone at the like entrance, and he's like going crazy, rah, 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 rah. And then like 10 seconds later, he's like sleeping. So again, he's emotionally stable. He's very adaptive and flexible. I do think humans, due to like what we said previously, the diet, the lifestyle, just learning from society, learning from our parents, we don't have the flexibility anymore with our emotions or our mindset. Again, it's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to cry. It doesn't mean that you're a loser or you got a depressive disorder. Again, you're just sad at this moment in time, but the time will change and you'll move forward, and then you could be happy the next second. So again, I think it's very easy to get trapped and put yourself in a rabbit hole and say you're this, you're that, when it's not the case. You just require better bioenergetics. And that can also be supported with research looking at how your thyroid works within your brain. Because again, there's major depression with people with like hypothyroid.
Right. So we are going to shift and we'll do some rapid fire questions. What is one morning ritual that you never skip? Whatever comes to mind.
Right now, say for the last 3 months, just from being in this new home, is going outside. Probably being waken up by my daughter and then going outside for a walk around the perimeter, just checking in on all the plants, see how well the plantains have been growing, because we planted like baby ones, just to see that. So again, we'll go out for a walk. I'll just be wearing shorts. She'll be wearing just like shorts as well. So she's getting skin in the game. That hasn't changed for many years. Maybe just the context of where we're doing it,
Right.
etc. has.
What is a go-to healthy snack when you're on the run?
I would say it's the time to fast. It should be flexing your health and your metabolism, that you don't need to be grazing. But again, if you're truly hungry, if you are prepared, I just say like boiled eggs, or even if you really wanted to, raw eggs, that, or Greek yogurt with a little bit of honey. Or again, if you're out at a restaurant, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many variations where you're going to find yourself. But I'd say if you're at a restaurant, again, this is a time to fast. Fasting gets a bad rep nowadays as being stressful or a problem, and women shouldn't do it because of their hormones. Again, that's just like utter nonsense. Sure, there's context, but everyone should be able to fast or be able to not eat for a few hours.
Right. What's one food that you could eat every day for the rest of your life?
Yeah, great question. I don't typically eat the same food every day, so I'm thinking like, what food can I do this with? Yeah, I could easily say steak. I could probably say plantains. I honestly love plantains.
Interesting.
There's just something about them here. I don't know if it's the potassium because I'm in so much sunlight. The potassium magnesium is pretty decent in them, but my body craves them.
Interesting.
And again, they're not like fried in like crap. So again, there's like many ways you can do plantains. You can just boil them. You can bake them in the oven with a skin pierced. You can
Right.
throw them on the grill. You can like fry them a little bit. You can put them in a griddle pan. You can add obviously coconut butter to it as well. You can make it into a pancake with an egg. So I'd probably say pancake. Oh, sorry, pancakes. I'll probably say plantain. Pardon me. Uh, and then and then following that, probably something like shrimp. I think
Okay.
steak, like a ribeye steak, would just get very, for me, very boring after a while.
Yeah. What's your favorite movement or workout?
Again, for most people, just sprints. I think you don't need to do it every single day, but having the capacity of, again, I'm talking to you right now, but say, for example, someone was stealing my motorbike 100 meters away, I would have the capacity to sprint right now and catch them.
Hmm.
Sprinting is a very important trait and statement of your health.
Do you have a song that instantly boosts your mood?
My songs are very erratic in terms of my mood, basically. Like I
Right.
said earlier, I believe that you should be moody and it's totally okay. Um, not being like an arsehole mood, but like you go with the flow, and it would depend on the environment. Or again, even if I'm training, what do I really want? I do like a little bit of reggaeton when I work and study, I'd say. Well, I have a little bit of reggaeton on there. But the thing with that is my Spanish is not like 100% fluent. So the most of the words, I don't say most, but some of the words just basically go over me. So again, I'm not paying attention to the lyrics. So I'm listening just to the flow of them speaking and the beat, basically. I like Afro beats as well. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's sort of
Hmm.
like Afro Caribbean, well, African, basically Caribbean music, a bit like reggaeton, but a bit more friendlier. Um, but it'll be the old school reggaeton. It's not like the new Bad Bunny stuff and all that kind of crap. It's like the old school reggaeton and the Afro beats. It's much more mature and not like trashy, essentially.
What is one word to describe your philosophy on health?
I would say it's my brand name, which is Levite, but it's technically two words together. That would mean live life.
Oh, I love that. What is one food you miss eating that you wish wasn't bad for you?
All foods I eat are not bad for me.
Okay, that's a good answer. What is the best?
There you go. There's that mindset again. Like my again. I could eat, but again, you're talking to someone who wouldn't eat like a junk food pizza, who wouldn't eat like fried food. So that's just completely, for me, it's just off the mark.
Right, right, right,
But
right.
I could if I really wanted to. But again, I don't want to. But I could in this place cafe right now on a Friday night. They have pizzas. I'd have pizza. I wouldn't. And they make it like good quality. It wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't even class it as bad food at all.
Right. If you could have dinner with one historical figure, who would that be?
Think you're probably someone like I don't know, Hitler, and ask him what the hell was he thinking or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? What's the
But
best piece? Oh, go on. I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
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 keep going.
no. Keep it simple. Simple answer.
Okay. Best piece of wellness advice you've ever received.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's for my dad, ironically, and he'll be like, it wasn't about health. It was about just like my
Uh-huh.
academics. So
Yes.
don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I just care about what you're doing and your results, and that's all that matters.
I
So
love
again,
that.
that applies to your health. Again, you shouldn't really care what like Paul Saladino's packing his suitcase because he's got a bit of a disordered eating and needs to eat 2 hours and show that he's eating coconut water and it's cool that
Right.
you can bring it on. Or again, like he's landed in Miami. Again, like you shouldn't live your life like that. That again, it sort of goes back of what I was dealing with disordered eating. If you really, honestly, if you really need to think about, oh shit, I'm going to Miami. I need to go to the supermarket, stock up. I got to find a Walmart. Let me see what someone else is eating and let me get it. I think that's kind of disordered. Now, again, there's context there. Again, you don't want to eat junk. You do need some organization. You do need to buy food, but at the same time, it's your energy is going into sort of that activity where shouldn't be caught up on that basically, and you're automatically thinking like that's bad. That's bad. I've got to get that grass fed or that raw stuff. And again, it's just that there's a bit of middle ground there, essentially.
What is a dream travel destination for you right now?
I'd say Madagascar
Interesting.
or the
What?
Philippines or the Philippines. So there's two
Oh,
there.
have you been
But
to either of them?
no, but
No. Okay.
it's a
Not
dream.
yet. It's
It's a
the dream.
dream.
Okay.
But I
Cool.
would probably presume it's sort of Madagascar is probably a little bit different to here, but Philippines is very similar to Nicaragua. I would believe.
Yes. What would people be surprised to know about you?
I used to be a drug dealer.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's a doozy.
There's a whole I done a newsletter about
That's a
that. I
whole
think it was,
nother episode. We're gonna have to dive into that on another one.
but again, I mean that was a long time ago. But again, I mean there's a newsletter or article on my website. It's called like drug dealer to healer, basically. But
Wow.
again, it's another thing. It's to be honest, I don't think about it much. I don't give it much energy. I don't bring it up. Again, it's like my disordered eating. I don't bring it up much. I don't play on it
Hmm.
because again, it's the past. Whilst
Exactly.
again, I don't regret it. I don't regret having disordered eating. It's who I am today. But again, I mean, it's just I see so many people like who feed on that and they use it as like a selling tactic and all that kind of spill.
Hmm.
I just don't like it because again, it's
Right.
creating your identity. I was that person. I am that person, and I'm so past that basically in
Right.
terms
Right.
of
Right.
who I am.
Is there one supplement that you can't live without? I mean, I know that you don't really love them, but is there one that you think is essential?
And the sun. But no, but seriously, I would say if your health again, this ruffles people's feathers because they truly don't believe it. But if your health is as good as people think or say it is, you don't need nothing. Honestly, you don't need nothing. Now, that's if you've got good health, if you're in an amazing environment and stresses of your life and whatnot.
And your
And again,
diet
obviously,
is,
yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say, and
yeah,
you eat well, you're getting those
right,
foods in, stuff like that.
right.
Now, if your health is not, so revamping the question would be like, what one supplement do most clients or people I feel need the most or can't live without? Yeah, again, like that would likely be just magnesium. But like I said, I don't take magnesium every day. I actually do have it in my suitcase or in a drawer. But I feel very intuitive like when I need that. And that
Hmm.
hugely connected to how much sun I've had the day. So again,
Interesting.
if I've had a lot of sun, I feel like and I worked out hard, I'd need more magnesium.
Interesting. What have I not asked you today that you'd like to share?
I think your questions have been spot on. Well, I mean, it'd be interesting to know your own gut journey and like see if I could add a little bit of context in there. Like if you have struggled, what have you done? But that's obviously if you're happy to share.
Oh, of course. Well, I'm really I'm in my other world, I'm a celebrity makeup artist, and I'm always speaking about beauty from the inside out. Nutrition's incredibly important to me. I make this swamp juice every day. I There's beet and broccoli and power greens and blueberry and turmeric. I mean, I have everything in it. Celery for anti-inflammatory, coconut water. So what else? You know what? My sleep has not been fantastic, and that's one thing. And I do take magnesium. That's one thing I would like to improve upon is my sleep. So, what would you suggest?
I presume your work makes you indoors quite a bit, so you have to be around harsh kind of white, blue lighting, potentially for a lot of clients. I presume that maybe that's around the clock and maybe you don't have too much control of that schedule. Again, presumptions here.
Right.
Um, I'd probably maybe say like, do you wear eyewear? Do you wear contacts? I presume you obviously wear makeup as well. That, again, in my opinion, comes with a lot of SPF. Again, I wouldn't be a fan of that. But again, at the same time, if you listen to your dermatologist, maybe some makeup artists, the sun's the devil and it's going to destroy your skin and being pale, well, not being white is the best. But again, I mean that's a big thing. And again, like you said earlier, how much sun are you going outside, but how much sun are you getting? What time? How much? How much skin are you exposing? Are you wearing eyewear? Are you wearing makeup when you do that?
Yeah, I
So
get out every morning first thing. I mean, first thing when I wake up, I go outside, look up at well, it's usually kind of dark when I wake up, and even when I'm inside, if I'm in my office working, I have the window wide open and I get out as much. I love to be outside. I think changes everything. I take my dog for a walk a few times a day. So, I mean, after this, I'm going paddleboarding up in Guerneville. So I'm
amazing.
gonna be out in this. I need a day to like slow
Sounds
things
like an
down.
yeah. But paddleboarding is not slowing it down, is it? It's a pretty big workout.
It kind of is, but it's relaxing. It's just, I just need to get away from my other world a little bit today. So
Got
I
you.
love that.
But again, I mean, things to help is general stuff like winding down, writing a like to-do list of sort of I said it's kind of bad to have one, but like dumping things down for tomorrow.
Right.
So again, trying to switch off. Um, but again, hormonally, how your metabolism is working. So again, looking, have you got enough carbohydrates on board? Or again, are you actually utilizing fat appropriately? So again, if you're in a bit of a limbo between both of those, then the body sort of gets confused and it actually puts down like an emergency mode, no fuel on board. And again, that can disturb a few people's sleep, basically.
Mm.
So again, a subtle thing such as like maybe after dinner, not too late after dinner, but after dinner, 1 hour or so, or half an hour before bed or something, just a little bit of honey, as ironic as it
Oh,
sounds. Again,
okay.
that can give you a little bit of fructose, glucose for your liver.
Oh,
And
I
again,
love that.
if you haven't had, say, for example, like 120, 160 grams of carbohydrates per day, then again, you're potentially relying on your fats, so ketogenesis or fatty acid oxidation. And again, for some people, yeah, you need to be healthy to burn fat. So that doesn't automatically turn on. So again, it's like you put your body in emergency mode and a bit of a limbo in that situation. So the honey can sort of give you a bit more carbs on board. And again, it's going to have no problems with like insulin or make you fat or anything like that. If your body
Right.
needs energy, it needs energy. And again, it's much more troublesome to not being able to sleep.
That is true. Ryan, I could chat with you forever and ever. Thank you so much for sharing your deeply personal, inspiring journey with me today. Your story is such a beautiful reminder that healing isn't linear, it's a blend of curiosity, courage, and commitment. For everyone listening, you can learn more about Ryan's work. I will have everything in the show notes. I also just want to thank you so much for all that you do for the world. You're making it a better place. I'm Christina Flach, and I'm too busy, and I'll see you next week. Take care. You know, it's so funny. My husband, he passed away 7 years ago, but he was a professional tennis player. And
Really?
yes, he was number one in the world playing doubles, won Wimbledon, Davis Cup. His name was Ken Flach. And so it was just interesting hearing about your working with a tennis player because I know all those guys.
Yeah,
So
I mean, their schedule is literally what destroys them, basically.
totally,
And they are their their activity, like their physical activity capacity is insane. It's probably the
yeah,
most demanding sport I think there is because again, their ball hand coordination, the agility, the stamina, the strength, the power
right.
is again that I think I don't remember like tennis back in the day, but I'd say it's probably got even higher standards than it was back in the day. Maybe there's like I don't know, these players nowadays are making shots that back in the day no one could because of their shoes or
That's true.
how things are done nowadays, basically. A bit
Right,
like
that's true.
football.
The flexibility and everything. They're doing
Yeah,
yoga and Pilates. My sons are trying to turn pro as golfers, and you know, they do yoga and Pilates. My husband didn't do that. He did stretch a lot, but it is completely different. Um, but
but
thank
it's
you
the
so much for being on today. It was so kind. And I wish you and your lovely wife and your baby all the love in the world.
thank you.